Well, it looks like we're live. Hello, world. It's time for the afternoon update with Jack Heald, the dad you wish you had. And I would like to apologize for the last 2 days. I have been flat on my back with the flu, and we didn't get afternoon updates on Wednesday or Thursday, but we've got one today. So, before we get into it any farther, it's time for the toast to this precious moment. Here's a toast to this precious moment. By the way, our toast today is brought to you by Homemade Bulletproof Coffee. I made my coffee today using Peixoto Coffee, which is a local coffee vendor. Absolutely my favorite coffee in the world. I write about it in a number of places on every place I write. I make my bulletproof coffee with coffee, a tablespoon of Kerrygold Irish butter. I buy this stuff by the, what is this, 2-pound box. I use that a lot. Put a tablespoon of Prasada MCT oil, that's coconut oil, into it, a tablespoon of butter, sprinkle of cinnamon, and then I also use, I supplement my bulletproof coffee with protein. I use Havasu collagen peptides. I've been using collagen peptides now for, I want to say maybe close to a year. And I think it really helps. My fingernails, which I never really had any problem with before, are stronger than they ever have been. I didn't care about my fingernails. I just like the protein, but that's an obvious place where it makes a difference. All right, so let's get that out of the way. Today's toast to this precious moment was brought to you by Homemade Bulletproof Coffee. I want to talk today, I want to follow up on something I was talking about earlier in the week, and that's intuition. Now, I gave a number of ways that you can develop your own intuition, and I talked about the fact that intuition is something that springs out of our ability to perform pattern recognition using the non-dominant side of our brain. And the way you strengthen that intuition is by accessing the non-dominant side of the brain and shutting down the dominant side of the brain. The exercises I gave you to do that are to do things that don't involve linear thinking, analytical thinking, mathematical thinking, or verbal thinking. Drawing is a very good way to do that. So is listening to music. But then with drawing, one of the things that I recommend is that you draw with your non-dominant hand and close your dominant eye so that you're forcing the non-dominant side of the brain to do all the work. This will be physically exhausting because you're actually forging new neural connections that were not there before, but it will also have the effect of strengthening your intuition. Now, I want to take it to the next level. How do we make use of this newly strengthened intuition? Well, the way that happens is by becoming much more aware of what's happening in your own body. Intuition is your intuition communicates with your consciousness through your body, through sensations in your body. I'm going to use a little bit of an Eastern model for the body now. And I want to point out that just because a model of reality is different than the model that you're used to doesn't mean that it's wrong. The Orient has used this model of the body for millennia, literally for millennia, and have built extraordinary cultures using this model for the body. So let's set aside your disbelief and just take a moment to listen. In the Indian culture, the cultures that are built on Buddhism, they talk about the 7 chakras, and the 7 chakras go from your sex organs, that's number 1, all the way up to the top of your head, that's number 7. And as you learn to develop your intuition and begin to pay attention to the sensations in your body, you will feel power or movement or energy in one of the chakras. So it would be worthwhile for you to do a quick search on what the 7 chakras are, locate those chakras in your body, and then pay attention where in your body you're experiencing power or sensation or energy when you have some sort of stimulus. most people will experience that kind of stimulus either through anger or through fear. But what's fascinating is that anger or fear will be expressed in several different places in the body. So if you can pay attention to where in your body you are experiencing that feeling, that energy, then you'll be able to begin accessing your intuition. If you experience something, for example, in the chakra that's at the throat, if you have experience of anger or fear or some sort of emotional upset and it's concentrated in the throat, the chances are very good that your intuition is telling you you need to be speaking. It's quite possible that you're actually clamping down on your need to speak. I personally have found that most of the intuition that I experience happens in the lower chakras, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the sexual organs, not in the upper chakras, the third eye, the whatever the one on the top is, I can't remember. Intuition seems to be more of a bodily experience than a mind experience. And that makes sense if we think about how we are taught to encounter and perceive the world in a rational, linear, logical manner. So do those exercises to strengthen your intuition. And then when you find yourself in situations where you have some sort of strong reaction, emotion, response, energy, localize where that response is happening in your body. It will be in one of those 7 chakras, I guarantee you. I'd like to hear feedback from you guys about this particular episode, and for that matter, any of the other episodes that I've done. But this one, I suspect, will generate some contemplation and some thought on your part. And I'd love to hear any examples that you have experienced and successes that you've had. Until next time, which should be Monday around 2 o'clock Mountain Time, I'm Jack Heald, the dad you wish you had. We'll see you soon.